So after months of the entire MMA community telling Francis Ngannou that he had made the biggest mistake of his life, his career will never recover, he's the biggest oof in the history of oofs, he gets a deal from the PFL that was everything he ever wanted, and now it's confirmed that he is gonna box Tyson Fury. And I'm seeing reports now that he's gonna make more money in this one fight than he made in his entire UFC career. Now, the only thing the Dana Nutriders are still clamoring to is, well, no one's going to take him seriously after this fight because he's just going to run in there and start swinging his arms like Bart Simpson, and Fury's just going to embarrass him. He's just going to get absolutely cronkled. But the thing these people don't realize is that boxing is fake. It's a complete figment of all of our imaginations. It's not real. It's just as real as the dreams you have every night when you go to bed. Now, don't get me wrong. Ngannou is gonna get absolutely thrashed when he boxes Tyson Fury. I mean, sure, there's probably some timeline out there in the multiverse where Ngannou just wings a punch and Fury maybe like a camera flash blinds him for a second and he gets caught and knocked out. But boy, is that going to be unlikely. I mean, Francis doesn't hit as hard as Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is a much better technical boxer than him, and he landed the cleanest punches you could possibly land on Fury, and he couldn't finish him. So yeah, Ngannou doesn't have a shot, but here's what I'm disappointed about. Because what the talk was originally about for their fight, from Fury's mouth himself, was they're going to do a boxing match in an octagon with 4-ounce gloves on. And I was all for it. I thought that was actually really interesting. I think under that rule set, Ngannou actually has a pretty decent chance to beat Fury. And here's why. Do you guys remember when Artem Lobov had a bare-knuckle boxing match against Paulie Malignaggi? Let me just set the scene for you guys. Paulie Malignaggi had a professional boxing career that spanned 15 years. He had 44 fights, 36 wins, 8 losses, and he was a 2-weight world champion. His opponent, Artem Lobov, safe to say he was a pretty below average UFC fighter. His record was 13 wins, 15 losses. Only reason he made it into the UFC was because he won the Ultimate Fighter a season where Conor McGregor was coaching. He actually lost his preliminary fight to get onto the show, but both coaches had a chance to bring someone back, so of course Conor brought Artem back. And then Artem made it all the way to the finals, completely fair and square, faced off against Ryan Hall in the finals, got dominated, but being the runner-up, he was still given a UFC contract along with like 7 other guys from that show because The Ultimate Fighter is a completely worthless idea that doesn't mean anything anymore. He then goes 2-5 in the UFC before he is cut. So, the former 2-weight world champion boxer is going to have a boxing match against a well below average UFC fighter. The only difference is they're going to take off those big puffy gloves that boxers wear. They're both similar height. Artem Lobov is 5'9", Paulie is 5'8", though Artem has a 65-inch reach, while Paulie has a 71-inch reach. 6-inch reach advantage. So there shouldn't be a chance in hell that this fight is close at all. On paper, everything is going towards Paulie Malignaggi. Everything. Artem has spent his entire combat career learning how to wrestle, learning jiu-jitsu, learning Muay Thai. Did some boxing for sure, but he's got all these different disciplines he needs to learn. While Paulie Malignaggi is a lifelong practitioner of using his fists to punch people. And they are going to have a fight where each of them can only use their fists to punch each other. And what happened? Artem Lobov beat the 2-weight world champion boxer in a boxing match where the only difference was, in case you didn't hear me the first time, was they lost those big puffy gloves. Honestly, I like boxing. I'm a fan. I really appreciate the discipline. But well, that's embarrassing. I mean, what else can you say? That is really embarrassing. But when you think about it, it might not be that surprising. I mean, when you have these two big pillows on the end of your fists, that makes a big difference. That changes a lot of things. There's guys that are world champion boxers who made an entire career of their defense was putting both of their hands up and walking forward. It's effective. That works in boxing. Put on some 4-ounce gloves or go bare knuckle, all of a sudden that doesn't work. You just can't do that. Their entire defense style gets thrown out the window. Now, obviously, that's not Tyson Fury. He's very elusive. He has very good head movement, great footwork. But Fury has spent thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds of sparring with boxing gloves on, tuning his defense to boxing gloves. While Francis, all his muscle memory, all his defense, everything he works on is built upon people throwing punches at him with 4-ounce gloves. What happens if Ngannou just wings a right hand and Fury instinctively just puts his arm up looking to block and it still gets through? That's why that fight is interesting. Not a boxing match under boxing rules, I don't care. Ngannou's just going to get completely tooled. But 4-ounce gloves, bare knuckle, hell, even soccer boppers. Sign me up, because that's interesting. I want to see what happens.